Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. Man, I had to sit here and straight up brainstorm with myself to come up with something different to talk about for today's episode. I don't know. I would have done a relationship advice or regular advice or ask Reddit questions. I would have done any of those series or episodes, but I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to talk about something different. I think I might do that for a while, just to overall, just widen my variety. Hopefully, do an episode and then have an idea, something to talk about for the next episode, and then continuing doing that, and then just, slow down a little bit on the relationship advice and all the other things that I usually do. Random talks. Random talks. It can honestly, those can be about anything, but I don't want to do a bunch of random talks every single day and stuff. So, anyways, I wanted to, in today's episode, more so trying to answer that question, what has social media become today? I just don't feel like social media it's not what it used to be. I remember, so when I was maybe 12 or something, 12 or 13, when I created a Twitter account. Had no idea what I was getting myself into. No idea whatsoever. And because my mom, she wouldn't allow me to create a MySpace account. And so I ended up creating a MySpace account until I think I was maybe 13, 14 years old. And I only had that for not that long because then Facebook was starting to blow up. So then I created a Facebook, and then after that, then that's when I was I think I remember I had my YouTube channel first, but it was another YouTube channel. Even YouTube has changed. I don't know, would YouTube be considered a social media platform? I guess in a way it is, but I don't know. Nobody doesn't consider YouTube social media and stuff. Usually the person that's all oh yeah, follow my social media accounts. They usually say that type of stuff in a YouTube video. So what would YouTube? I wonder what YouTube would be considered. It's just I don't know. I see people, they call it a platform and stuff, but that's about it. But I don't know. In a way it is, but at the same time nobody says it is. So I don't know. But anyways, I remember I think I created a Twitter account when I was 12, 13. Had no idea what I was doing. Think I followed Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey hadn't tweeted in a long time. So then at that point, I was just forget it. I ain't gonna fool around with this anymore. So I stopped going on it. I think I ended up deleting my account. And then I had created it again. I think I remember I created it a few times and then deleted it a few times. But then I remember I think it was in 2011, 2012, that's when I created the account that I have now. So it was I didn't know what to do. It was just, to me it was confusing and stuff. But it was then it seems as you was getting the hang of things with it, then it just seems it changes on you. I feel with a lot of social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then all these different platforms, they all just change after a while. They're not usually, they don't stay the same. And I'm that's my thing was there. It's I don't really like when a social media platform changes. I just remember how much backlash and how much hate Facebook was getting when they were changing their website, changing the whole thing. And it's not how it used to be. I remember it used to just be everything was just easy to understand. And so now it's and I have to say that's probably why it's with the older generation, when you're overwhelming them with all these different changes to social media platforms and stuff. I feel and that's why they have to constantly come out on news channels and talk about, oh yeah, be careful for scammers and stuff, because stuff it's not how it used to be. It's not just some easy and simple stuff that you just know off the bat. That's why I'm man, social media just needs to just stop changing sometimes. It's confusing. It ain't so much as confusing to me, but I just don't really like the change. I can understand YouTube just recently, they changed I guess the YouTube studio section or something like that. Used to just be easy to understand. Everything was cool. You didn't have to worry about nothing. Because the one thing that I don't really like about it is when I upload a video, like it's not placed differently, but it's just the process of like publishing the video is different. And that's why I'm like, I have to like hurry up because they have it where you can upload things the classic way. But I'm like, man, okay, if you're still gonna have that, then you should give people that option. Do you want to use the classic version or do you want to use the newer version? And they were doing that, but every time when I would start up YouTube, they just send me straight to the new version. I'm like, I don't want to use the new version. I feel like that you should like at least give people that opportunity. Like if you want to use the older version and come to the newer version maybe a little bit later or try to, because I wanted to know that stuff on my own time. And me, I got like hundreds of videos and stuff that I haven't even recorded yet. Like probably over 100 videos I haven't even uploaded yet. Now I gotta go through this whole new process of YouTube where I'm like, no, I don't want to do all of that. I just want to upload things the way that's because if it was up to me, I still would have had the same YouTube platform from like 2010, 2011, where you can like change the color of your profile, your like YouTube channel and stuff. Because I know a lot of people, they came onto the YouTube platform like probably around the time I was either getting ready to graduate from high school or probably no, because I think the last YouTube platform before this like whole new one that they've came out with, I think they introduced that in like 2012, 2013. So it was, I started using that, got used to everything, and I'm like, that's why I already know what's gonna happen. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna understand. I kind of already do understand the whole new platform they got going on now, but I'm like, it's just gonna be in a matter of time before you guys are all like, oh yeah, now we're changing the platform, now it's gonna be this. And you guys can now that you know everything about this last one, now it's time to move on. I'm like, bro, just let me do what I want to do. Like I don't want to use all these new and different platforms and stuff. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. But YouTube, I don't know. Like I guess I can, because I mean it's it is my job, so I'm like I have to get used to everything with it. But with Facebook and Twitter, that's the thing though. With Twitter, they haven't really changed much. That's why I'm like, I really do like Twitter. I feel like Twitter is like one of the most like underrated social media websites out there. Like, I mean, a lot of people are on Twitter, but I just overall like I just feel like that the friends that I have, they will most likely have a better time on Twitter than they are on something else. Like Twitter is probably the best social media platform out there. It's like I don't go on Twitter that much, but you come across so much on Twitter, from memes to just funny tweets, like to a lot of like different things. That's why I'm like, if you don't have a Twitter account, create a Twitter account. Like, I'm about to start telling all my friends. I think if I were to have like one social media platform, because I'm like, that's why I'm like, I don't really go on Twitter that much. It probably would be Instagram. Instagram would probably, those to me are like neck and neck. Instagram is a platform, it hasn't really changed either. I feel like if anything, they've just added more to the whole platform. Because to me, I would probably, I almost forgot about Instagram. I'm like, would this have been like a social media episode if I didn't mention Instagram? Because I created an Instagram when I was in high school. I think I still got my first photo up too. I still remember my first photo. My first photo was honestly just a picture of my lunchroom. I had no idea what to take a picture of. I could have taken a selfie, but I ain't really a selfie person. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like with me, like with other people, there's one of my friends, when I went to her college graduation. I was just talking about this yesterday. When I went to her college graduation, and her brother had took a picture of me. That was probably the best picture that was ever taken of me. Like, I don't know, when others, there's like when like friends of yours, when they take pictures of you and stuff, I remember there was one of my friends, they took a picture of me, and I'm like, that is not me. That is like something from Lord of the Rings. That is definitely not me in that picture and stuff. Like, I was like, my eyes was like all big. then the photo was all blurry, so you couldn't even really make out what it was. You just see me and things. Like, I seriously looked like a haunted house, like, movie character or something. I'm like, that just wasn't normal. But then that profile picture, like, I looked like I was graduating college with her. I'm like, yo, if they, honestly, I was like, but the outfit, because what was I wearing? I think I was wearing, I was wearing a hoodie. It's funny, the hoodie that I was wearing in that photo, I'm like leaning on that hoodie right now, but I was wearing this like plain gray hoodie, and what pants was I wearing? I think I was wearing some nice shoes, but they were sneakers. But yeah, I was like, I'd straight up, I remember I told her that, getting off subject a little bit, because she knows that I'm not like a dressy person. I don't know, like maybe if it's like special occasions, then I'll dress up, but like, that was another thing I was talking about. I like how this slowly transitioned from like talking about social media. Now it seems like it's a random talk. Okay, I'm gonna talk about these things and I'm gonna get right back on the social media. But yeah, I'm not a dressy person. I was talking about that yesterday with my mom, and because when we were in Vegas, she wanted to eat at the Gordon Ramsay restaurant, but you had to like dress up and things. Like you had to like have like a dressy outfit and stuff to eat in there. And I'm like, nah. I shouldn't have to dress up to eat food. If I'm starving and I need me some food, whatever, I'm like, that's the only thing that matters. I don't care what outfit I'm wearing. Like, nah. That's what I'm like, yeah, they got the one in the Caesar's Palace. You ain't got to do all of that. I'm like, okay, cool. Because my casual outfit, a hoodie and some sweats. Like, that's it. Maybe some basketball shorts. But definitely sneakers. I don't like dress shoes. Dress shoes are uncomfortable. If Jordan made some, I'm like, if they got like some like dress shoes, to buy Jordans, like they're like some old retro ones, and cause there's these one Jordans I have, those can pass by as some dress shoes. It's the infrared sixes, and I know people will be all like, don't sound like dress shoes. No, it's like an all black shoe, but it has like this like red stuff on the sides and things, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll wear like I think I would wear a suit. But it had to be a suit that goes with those shoes. So I had to have like probably like an infrared like undershirt with a black tie, and then probably, I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, what's my ideal outfit? But it can't be one of them like baggy suits. I remember I had one of those baggy suits when I was in high school, and it did not feel right. Like, as I got older, that suit just, I couldn't even wear the jacket no more. I'm like, that whole suit just got way too old. But anyways, I remember I wore it was for my high school homecoming, and I was like, man, this is uncomfortable. I look like I'm like, I don't know, I felt like I shrunk in my clothes or something. I was just too small for suits. And I'm like, and I ain't gonna, get a suit tailored and then to like get it. I'm like, that, when the day comes when I'm like, going to some serious events and stuff, then I'll probably like, do that. But even then, I'm like, because no, my friend, he wants me to go to his wedding next year. So I'm like, dang, like I'm probably like I said, for special occasions, then I will. But like weddings or award shows, all that stuff. But if I'm going to eat some food and they talking about, oh, you gotta dress a certain way, I'm like, all right, well, where's the nearest McDonald's? Cause it's like as long as I'm just getting some food in my system, I really don't care what kind of food it is. So there's that. But anyways, back on social media. Okay, just had to take a little minor break from talking about social media. But anyways, what other? So there's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Nobody goes on MySpace. MySpace changed though. Like, let me go on MySpace real quick. It's just crazy how they still have that that website up still. MySpace. That'd be crazy if they sold that website. It takes a while for this website to load up. I think that's just MySpace. They just got way too much going on there. I should like recreate MySpace. Well, not like the website itself, but why is it taking so long for it to open up? Like, nah, let me Google it. Bro, did they not? Dude, there's really a CEO of MySpace. His name is Tim Vanderhook. That's crazy. Wow, they seriously do have accounts on different websites. See, Instagram opened up all fast. Do they even post on Instagram? Yo, they haven't posted something in 2017. They got 12,000. How did they have 12,000 followers and they haven't even posted something in 3 years? Like, do people not like? I don't know. If I noticed that an account that I'm following and they haven't posted in a while, I will unfollow them. Look, they haven't posted on there. They got 200,000 followers on Twitter and they haven't posted something in 3 years. That's crazy. What about if they got a YouTube channel? How does MySpace have a YouTube channel? They don't even have no videos up. Wow. They don't even, do they even have any subscribers? I don't even think they have any subscribers. There's probably people that ain't taking them serious. They are like, oh, they ain't the actual MySpace account, but oh, they still do post. They still do post on here, but it's like news stuff. They're talking about like Post Malone. Huh. Oh yeah, the Goonies reunion. Yeah, so it became like a news website. Cause they're not really they're not it's not like how it used to be. They're like posting news about actors, and so it's like kind of like I don't know. Cause I remember when I got onto MySpace when I was younger, when I was like 13, 14 years old, because I ain't never had a MySpace before. I just remember my sister would talk about it all the time. So once when I did get in high school and things, then I remember I created it. And I didn't really know what it was. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? So I think I was like talking with friends on there. Then it was like a good friend of mine. She was on there. So then I think that's when she was all like, oh, I'm on Facebook and stuff. So then that's when I think I created a Facebook. And then, yeah, that's where everybody was at. Nobody was on MySpace. Everybody was on Facebook. Everybody was on Facebook. So it was like a bunch of friends. Because there was like, so give you guys like a little like background story of me and things. So when I was a kid, up until I was 9, I used to go to school in West Seattle. So there's like a lot of friends from West Seattle that I like reconnected with because I hadn't talked to them in years. So I had found a bunch of them, and then I was talking with them, catching up with them and things. And then it was like friends of mine that was out here, and then it just seems like as the time progressed on, I made more and more friends. And then Instagram came out, and then everybody was on that. And then people always say, oh, yeah, Facebook is dying. But nah, Facebook, I don't think Facebook, it's like saying, like, Facebook's going to become the new MySpace. Nah. There's people still creating Facebook accounts till this day. There's people still add me and all this other stuff on Facebook. It's that nobody doesn't want to go on these other social media platforms. Because it's just like, I feel like with Facebook, that's just like the common one to have. That's the one where it's like you can reconnect with everybody on there. With other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram. I wouldn't say it's an overwhelming like social media platforms. But they're just like, it's different from Facebook. At least, like I said, with Facebook, you're reconnecting with everybody on there because it was a coworker of mine. Now friend. We were friends while we were working together and things, but friend. I gotta stop saying that. They're gonna mess around and get on me for calling them coworkers and stuff. I just feel wrong when I'm like calling a coworker or calling a friend a coworker and stuff, and I'm like, they're not a coworker, they are a friend. So I'm like, I gotta start remembering that. I apologize to all my friends that I used to work with, but anyways, he didn't really know that much about like Instagram and stuff, and so I think I remember there was one day I was just like telling him about it, and it was like even prior before that, it was a friend of mine's. He was I remember he wanted to create an Instagram account, so he was overall like talking about like Instagram. We were cracking jokes about it and things, but yeah, you'll be surprised. Like people don't be really on that stuff. They like Facebook is like probably the easiest one. You add people, post stuff, message people. That's it. Instagram, you guys, at the time being, it was just like, you just post photos and stuff. But now, like what Instagram and everything else, and even Facebook, they're trying to like get in the hang of things too. But no, on Instagram, you gotta like post a story, and then you gotta post a video, then you're posting a IGTV video, and that's pretty much, you just post a longer. I just think that feature, I don't know, I don't really like that. They should just have it, okay, if I'm posting a video, just have me, I shouldn't have to like switch between it, whether it's going to be a short video or a long video. But then they'll ask you that. So they'll be all like, oh, is this a short video or a long video? You want to trim parts of this video, or do you want to like leave the whole video? You want to do this or this? And it's like, and then when you're posting photos, I remember on Facebook, you just posted a photo. I think that's why a lot of people like Instagram, because you can like change up stuff about it and things, your photos. People be adding all them filters and things. Then that's another thing, because Snapchat had added that. Yeah, I don't use Snapchat that much, so that's why I'm like, I don't really, people, they'll all like, oh, are you on Snapchat? And I'll say I am, but I'm like, I don't go on it that much. Like, I honestly don't. There's no reason for me to go on Snapchat. I don't like Snapchat. I don't like the fact where they're all like, oh, you only get to look at a photo for like 10, 15 seconds. Then you like, because no, my thing was to say, I didn't know that. So I think there's the first day that was introduced to me and stuff. I think I didn't see what the person had said. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me just open it back up again. They're all like, oh, you can't open this back up. Or it's like some dumb stuff like that. I'm like, well, why would they send it to me? That's what I'm like, no, if you got something to send to me or tell me, like text me, message me on a social media platform where it's going to last longer than 10 seconds, yeah, I'm like, I'm not trying to look at no photo or something for no 10 seconds. So I'm like, yeah, don't like, it takes you a time. It's like, especially if they taking like one of these like photos that, got like 1,000 things in it and stuff. I'm like, what am I looking at here? They're all like, oh, you didn't see? I'm like, no, I didn't see. What was it? I'm like, oh, well, you didn't see it. Like, it's too late now. It's gone. I'm like, it was a big giant bird. I just wanted to show you, but no, it flew away. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm like, nah, it's like, don't go through the trouble of sending me stuff on Snapchat. Send that stuff to me on something else. Instagram, freaking, Twitter, Facebook. Like, yeah, I don't really care for it. I don't really care for that. Then that's another thing on Facebook where I'm like, they have it where people can like follow you, your personal like profile and stuff. And I'm like, that's nah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't want people following my personal profile, especially I'm like, I guess in a way it does make sense, but that's just something that I don't really like. I'm like, if you're friends with me, then okay, but like, I don't know. They do have it where they'll have it where you make things public, and I'm like, so I guess in a way I can understand it where I'm like, okay, if it's like, if I post like a comedy skit and things, and I want my friends to like share it around and stuff, then I'm like, all right, cool, but for the most part, yeah, it's I don't like that. I don't like that at all. What else? Oh yeah, then like people can video call you on Instagram. There is this one guy, I think he either unfollowed me or blocked me. But I'm sitting around with my family talking. Next thing you know, my phone goes off. I look, it's some random person. I don't know whether it was a fan from YouTube or what. I think it had to have been somebody that knew me from YouTube. But he called me, so I declined. He calls me again. I declined. He called me again, and he kept calling me. And every time I declined, I was about to message him saying, dude, stop calling me. Like, one would have thought, okay, he declined the call the first time. How many times do you think when a person, when their phone rings for one ring, do you think like, oh, okay, maybe they didn't get to it? No, they're declining. If it rings for a long time, then they're most likely not by the phone, or they're sitting their phone at a faraway distance and they're looking. If they decline and they're not answering, don't call them again. Just because you keep like, no, don't call them again. Unless you're trying to help this person look for their phone, then yeah, then do what you got to do. But yeah, if that person, I'm like, they, declining your call, or they're, they're not answering, don't keep calling and things thinking they're going to pick up. Like, they don't answer. But he kept doing that, and I think it must have made him mad, so he unfollowed me. I'm like, good, because now I ain't got to worry about that no more. I'm like, that was just annoying. That dude, he called me, because I still got it on Instagram too. He called me. See if I can find his profile. Nah, that ain't it. What about this one? Nah, that ain't it either. Nah, that ain't it. Nah, that ain't it. Dang, where is this guy? So he called One, two, three, 4 times. 4 times. It felt like it was he called me more than that. I was like, it felt like it was about like 10 times and things. Because I just kept pressing the decline thing. And I'm like, why does he keep trying to call me? So, yeah, I don't like that. I'm like, if I ain't following you, like, I guess I can understand if I'm following you, then okay, give them that feature. But if I'm not following the person, don't have it where they can video call me and things. Social media just altogether, they just need to go back to the retro days. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, not so much because it wasn't really anything going on Twitter. What was the one? Oh, I remember everybody was on that one. It was like this thing called My Yearbook. That one, I was like, I don't know. That's definitely for like some like high school kids. I was only on that. I think once when I got older, I honestly, that's like the first time in a while I had mentioned or even talked about. I can't remember the last time I had made My Yearbook. That used to be the app. That used to be the app. That was funny. That whole website was funny. People, they just they ask you anonymous questions, but it was like your crush or some stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, just like this. No, don't do that. Like I shouldn't. Nah, bro. I shouldn't say bro. No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't have said bro, because then it sounds all weird and stuff. So, lady, yeah, that's a lot better. But I'm like, but no, like jokes aside. My thing is like if you trying to mess me, I don't know. My thing is that I was just straight up with it. I would either confront my crush or I would message her, but I wouldn't like like create like have it like she creates a My Yearbook or find her on My Yearbook and anonymously ask. I'm like, then it just looks weird. It's like seem like a stalker. You like anonymously asking questions and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, just ask your crush on the actual like websites where they can see your face and ain't no anonymous stuff. But anyways, that will be all for today's episode. I will talk to you guys later though. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, like and subscribe to viewing this on the podcast streaming service. Make sure you follow or subscribe however it's set up. And if you are purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching and or listening, and peace.